Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय हो इष्टपाद परमहंस प्रजा का स्तोत्र श्रीमद डोएन के सभे चरणानंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की नित्यला जय हो इष्टपाद परमहंस प्रजा का स्तोत्र श्रीमद डोएन के भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती स्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की, नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, इस्कॉन वर्तमान गुरु वृंद की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री वेदगदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरिराज गोवर्धन की, श्री गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी देवी की, मायापुर नवदीप धाम की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरापुरी धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल इनकार्नेशन ऑफ लॉर्ड श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की, श्री राधा रास बिहारी जी की, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की, श्री गौरनिथाय जी की, श्री राधा माधव की, श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह की, श्री पंचतत्व की. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, where is it? Where did we go? Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 85. Today we will see text 38. So, the chapter is titled Lord Krishna Instructs Vasudeva. So, before we get into the text, let us chant the auspicious invocation prayers. I will try to chant, please try to repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam Sukamukat amrita drava samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuraho rasika bhui bhavakaha Narayanam namaskritya Naranchaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Sayendraseno bhagavat padambujam Sayendraseno bhagavat padambujam Vibran muhu prema vibhinnaya dhiya Vibran muhu prema vibhinnaya dhiya Uvachahananda jalakulekshanaha Uvachahananda jalakulekshanaha Prakrishtaro manupagat gadaksharam प्रहृष्टरोमानृपगद्गदाक्षरम् स इन्द्रसेनो भगवत्पदाम्बुजम् बिभ्रन्मुहुः प्रेम विभिन्नया धिया उवाचहानन्दजलाकुलेक्षणः प्रहृष्टरोमानृपगद्गदाक्षरम् स इन्द्रसेनो भगवत्पदाम्बुजम् बिभ्रन्मुहुः प्रेम विभिन्नया धिया उवाचहानन्दजलाकुलेक्षणः प्रहृष्टरोमानृपगद्गदाक्षरम् स इन्द्रसेनो भगवत्पदाम्बुजम् बिभ्रन्मुहुः प्रेम विभिन्नया धिया उवाचहानन्दजलाकुलेक्षणः प्रहृष्टरोमानृपगद्गदाक्षरम् स इन्द्रसेनो भगवत्पदाम्बुजम् बिभ्रन्मुहुः प्रेम विभिन्नया धिया उवाचहानन्दजलाकुलेक्षणः प्रहृष्टरोमानृपगद्गदाक्षरम् माताजी स इन्द्रसेनो भगवत्पदाम्बुजम् बिभ्रन्मुहुः प्रेम विभिन्नया धिया उवाचहानन्दजलाकुलेक्षणः प्रहृष्टरोमानृपगद्गदाक्षरम् सः हि Indrasenah Bali, who conquered the army of Indra, Bhagavat of the Supreme Lords, Padambujam, the lotus feet, Bibrat, taking hold of, Muhuhu, repeatedly, Prema, out of love, Vibhinnaya, which was melting, Dhiya, from his heart, Uvachaha, said, Ananda, caused by his ecstasy, Jala, with water, tears, Akula, filled, Ikshanaha, whose eyes, Prakrishta, standing erect, Roma, the hair on whose limbs, Nrupa, O king, Parikshit, Gadgada, choking, Aksharam, whose syllables. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanand Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation, please try to repeat. Taking hold of the Lord's lotus feet again and again, Bali, the conqueror of Indra's army, spoke from his heart, which was melting out of his intense love. O king, as tears of ecstasy filled his eyes and the hair on his limbs stood on the end, he began to speak with faltering words. Purport. Oh, this purport is by the followers of Prabhupada. Okay. Anyway, the purport is from Prabhupada itself. Srila Prabhupada describes this scene as follows in Krishna. King Bali was feeling such transcendental pleasure that he repeatedly grasped the lotus feet of the Lord and kept them on his chest. And sometimes he put them on the top of his head, and in this way he was feeling transcendental bliss. The tears of love and affection began to flow from his eyes, and all his hairs stood on the end. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakhagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschaittya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangalangayate Grimit Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukram Bhavet Vismrite Pritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. Saindraseno Bhagavat Padambujam Vibran Muhu Prema Vibhinnayadiya Uvachahananda Jalakulekshanaha Prakrishta Roma Nrupa Gadgadaksharam. Taking hold of Lord's lotus feet again and again, Bali, the conqueror of Indra's army, spoke from his heart, which was melting out of intense love. O king, as tears of ecstasy filled his eyes and his hairs on his limbs stood on the end, he began to speak with faltering words. So it's very interesting to see how Bali has been described. He has been described as Indrasena. Indrasena means one who has conquered the army of Indra. So he is a very big man, he is a very powerful man. To conquer the army of Indra is not some small thing. It's a very big thing. One has to be extremely powerful to conquer the army of Indra. And especially it is said that when Bali actually came for the second time to fight with Indra, after all the yajna was done in his wonderful chariot, he didn't even fight with Indra. He just took his conch shell and then he blew his conch shell, standing outside, and he was challenging Indra. And Indra and company, they just vanished because they understood there is no point fighting with Bali. He is so powerful. So they just vanished. So that was the power of Bali, that even without fight he was able to conquer Indra. He is such a great man, such a great man, such a powerful man. And when we examine his heart, because sometimes when great people, powerful people, they radiate a lot of opulence and they radiate a lot of Aishwarya Bhav. They have a lot of aura of respect around them when we see great people. But then when we go and examine his heart, what we find is that his heart is simply melting. It is so soft. It is so soft. And what we find in his heart, we find in his heart tears of ecstasy for the Supreme Lords. He is seen Krishna and Balaram, In the last class, we welcomed Krishna and Balaram very nicely. Veer Krishna Prabhu was welcoming both of them by giving so many prayers, by singing so many songs. He nicely welcomed both of them. So they are sitting, and what Bali has for them, he has for them a very valuable offering. And what is that valuable offering? The valuable offering is his melting heart and the tears in his eyes and faltering words. So therefore, there is a very interesting question in Vanaparva, in Mahabharata, Vanaparva. There is a very interesting question. This Yaksha is asking so many questions to Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira is answering all those questions. And one of the questions Yaksha asked is that what is the right path of dharma? And Yudhishthira replied, the right path of dharma cannot be understood simply by argumentation and logic, nor can it be understood by studying the Vedas, because Vedas are so confusing. Nor can it be understood by asking the sages, because each sage has his own opinion. That is why they are called sages, Muni. Each sage has his own opinion. So then where to find dharma? He gave a very good answer. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Nihitam guhayam. You have to go deep into the heart of who? Mahajanayena gatasa pantaha. So you have to go deep into the heart of the Mahajans, and then you have to see what is lying there. What is lying there? Then we can find what is lying there is tears for Krishna. That is what is lying in the heart. Tears for Krishna. They are crying for Krishna. And that is the greatest dharma. That is the greatest dharma. That if we can cry for Krishna, then that is the greatest dharma. Normally we come into the material world crying only. And if you don't cry, then people think there is a problem. So when the baby is born, the baby cries, and the baby is crying. And if it is not crying, then they forcibly make the baby cry. Hold it upside down and give a slap on the butt. And then the baby starts crying. Then everybody is happy. Oh, baby is crying. Very good, very good, very good. So normally we come into this material world crying. And then we keep crying in this material world because so many things we are crying. When we are small children, we are crying for toys. We are saying, oh, I want this toy, I want that toy. And after some time we grow up a little bit, then we start crying for friends. I want to go out with my friends. Oh, father, oh, mother, why are you stopping me? I want to go here, there. Then we start crying for opposite sex. Oh, this girl is so nice, why she is not seeing me? Or oh, this boy is so nice, why he is not seeing me? And then we get married to them, and then we start permanently crying, thinking that, oh, why I got married to this girl. She was looking so nice before I got married. And the girl is thinking, oh, I could have married one coconut tree instead of this man. At least I got tender coconut. This fellow is useless. He is not giving anything. So we are crying. And then after we get little bit more age, then we start crying about our children. Oh, he is not scoring 1/2 mark more than me, this other fellow. He is not getting this seat. He is not getting that seat. We cry. And then after that we become little bit more old. We go and cry to the doctor. Oh, my dear doctor, I have BP, I have AP, I have CP. Please do something. So like this we are crying for the whole life. We are crying for the whole life. We are crying for happiness. We are crying for happiness. But Srila Prabhupada taught us something reverse. What is that? We should be happy to cry. Don't cry for happiness, but you be happy to cry. So this movement is crying movement. This movement is crying movement. If you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, everybody is crying. Everybody is crying. So we know only 4 things. In this movement, we know 4 things. What is the first thing we know? We know how to eat. This is the most important thing we know. We know how to eat prasadam very nicely. Then second, we know how to chant and dance. The second thing we know. Okay? Then third thing we know is how to sing. And the fourth thing we know is how to cry. So this is the last thing we learn. First we learn how to eat prasad. That's the first thing we learn. When we come, we get prasad. And then we are happy to eat prasad. It's good. We should eat prasad. A lot of prasad we should eat. Then after that, we learn how to chant and sing. Then we learn how to dance. Dance for Krishna. But The last thing we should learn, the most important thing we should learn is how to cry for Krishna. How to cry for Krishna. But crying for Krishna is not so easy. Crying for Krishna is not so easy. So therefore, when Mahaprabhu explains the signs of crying for Krishna, Mahaprabhu gives a whole sequence that how to cry for Krishna. He gives a whole sequence how to cry for Krishna. And that sequence is given in 8 verses, which is called as Shikshastakam. It's called as Shikshastakam. So in that, different levels of crying is given. In the different levels of crying is given. The first thing what we should do is that we should actually understand the glory of the holy name. Cheto darpanam arjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadhanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. One should understand the glories of the holy name. That when we come to ISKCON and if we spend some time, we can understand the glories of the holy name. We understand that the name and the person who possesses the name, they are non-different from each other. We know the theory. We know the theory. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. We know this. We know the theory. This is the first step. We should know the theory. The importance of chanting the holy name, we should know. Then comes the first level of crying. What is that first level of crying? Namnamakari Bahuda Nijasarva Saktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Yetadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisham Ihajani Nanuragaha. This is the first level of crying. The first level of crying is that we should understand our situation is so unfortunate that even though Krishna has made himself extremely accessible, normally Krishna is not accessible. In Satya Yuga he is not accessible. In Dwapara Yuga he is not accessible. In Treta Yuga he is not accessible. Normally he is not accessible. Very difficult to go and find Krishna. But in Kali Yuga, Krishna has made himself extremely accessible because of the madness of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So because of that, he has sold Krishna freely to us. There are 2 people, they are standing here, Chaitanya and Nityananda. Nadiya Godra mein Nityananda Mahajan Patiyache Namahatta Jivera Karan. What they did, they opened market of the holy name. They opened market of the holy name. And then they are calling everyone, Shraddhavana Janahai, Shraddhavana Jan. Oh, you have little faith? Come. Take this holy name for free. Take this holy name for free. Chant and be happy. Chant and be happy. They are giving so freely. That Krishna, who is telling in Bhagavad-gita, is putting so much condition in Bhagavad-gita. Sarvadharman parityaja, mam ekam saranam braja. Big condition. Sarvadharman parityaja, mam ekam saranam braja. I was born in Kumbakonam. It's in Tamil Nadu. And there, near Kumbakonam, there is one place called Uppliappan Temple. There the Lord eat without salt. So, that deity, he is standing. He is Govinda, he is standing. And he has one hand called Abhayahasta. He is holding hand like this, showing his lotus feet. You should come here. And in that Abhayahasta it is written, Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja. Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja. So, very difficult to do all that. So, Krishna has made surrender a very difficult process. So then Mahaprabhu comes, hey, why all this Sarvadharman Parityaja, Mam Ekam Saranam? No problem, just you chant. Now just you chant. And that also how he said Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, he told, go door to door, go and fall at the feet of the Grahastha and ask them to chant one time Hare Krishna. One time my Guru Maharaj was laughing and everybody was surprised why he is laughing. He was telling that you imagine Nityananda Prabhu is Anantasesh. Nityananda Prabhu is Anantasesh. He has thousands of head. He has thousands of head. And Haridas Thakur is Brahma. He has 4 head. One personality with thousands of head, another personality with 4 head. They are going and knocking door to door. And when they come, when the fellow opens the door, they cannot see the personalities who knocked because both of them are at his feet. And then they are telling, please chant Hare Krishna one time. That easily they gave Krishna. They gave Krishna that easily. They distributed Krishna as if he is some peppermint. Simply they distributed Krishna because of madness. Because of madness. So easily Krishna is available. So easily Krishna is available. In Bhagavatam, if you read that the gopis are crying, it is said that gopis are actually crying. Iti gopya pragayanta pralabyanta sa chitrada rurudu suswaram rajan Krishna darshana lalasa. Sukadeva Goswami is very beautifully explaining that they were not able to see Krishna. So therefore they started crying with great voice. But they were crying, that was also beautiful. Suswaram Rajan. Suswaram Rajan. Somehow they know the musical art of crying. Anyway, that's a different subject. But the point is, even the gopis had to cry to get Krishna. That Krishna, who is so difficult to get, just like that we got. Just like that we got. Simply by opening our mouth and chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We got so easily, but we don't know that we got Krishna. This is the most unfortunate thing, therefore we should cry for this. Durdaivam idrisam ihajani na anuragaha. Therefore, we should cry for this. This is the first level of crying. If we don't cry for this, we cannot go to the next sloka of Shikshashtakam. Next sloka of Shikshashtakam. Because if there is no intense desire to chant the holy name, to get Krishna, to actually grab that opportunity which Mahaprabhu has given us, if there is no desire, then we will still be stuck in all these worldly affairs. What are the worldly affairs? SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki, Sri Sitalam Lakshman Hanuman ji ki, Sri Gaurnithai ji ki. So what are the worldly affairs? The worldly affair is that I am a great man. I am a great man. I can show you who I am. Don't mess around with me. Don't mess around with me. Kisse tum panga liya tumko malum nahi hai. So these are all worldly affair. Or we become very, very careful to maintain our prestige. I am a very prestigious guy. I should be treated like this. I should be treated like that. So simply we will spend time in these worldly affairs, in these worldly dealings. So therefore, when we start crying, when will I get attachment to chant the holy name? Then we can understand that this big problem in chanting the holy name is lack of humility. So therefore, we can understand Trinatapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amani Namanadina, Kirtaniya Sadahari. That somehow or other we can engage in Krishna's kirtan. Always we can think of Krishna, chant the holy name of Krishna, and we can become devotee, we can get initiated, we can get a nice name, this das, that das, this dasi, that dasi, we can get, and then we are in. But when we are in, the problem is not over. Now we are going to face some problems which comes simply because we are practicing bhakti. Previously, intolerance, lack of humility, the idea to expect respect, and the idea of not giving respect, all these things were coming as anarthas which were there before practicing bhakti. Now one new set of problem is going to come after practicing bhakti. What is that new set of problem? The new set of problem is when we become devotee, then people will start respecting us. People will start Respecting us. They will fall at our feet and all. They will come and fall at our feet. Very bewildering. Very bewildering. Why this person is falling at my feet? What happened to him? They see, oh, I was in Kurukshetra, and I was taking bath in that big Sarovar lake is there. I was taking bath. And then I was tying my dhoti. And then suddenly I heard somebody calling Panditji, Panditji. I thought some Pandit is there, they are calling somebody. And I was just doing my job. And this guy came near me and then he gave me one tap. Pandit ji, मैं आपको बुला रहा हूँ, आप क्यों मुझे नहीं देखता है? That time I understood I am supposed to be Pandit ji. People think like that. People think that we are Pandit. I was going in airport and then one CISF was asking some question and another fellow came and told him, अरे ब्राह्मण को क्यों सताता है, छोड़ो इसको. ब्राह्मण को क्यों सताता है, छोड़ो इसको. Then I understood, oh, I am supposed to be Brahman. So people give respect. People give respect. People whom we don't know, they give respect. People whom we know, maybe not so much. But people whom we don't know also give respect to us. So this is a new problem which comes with devotional service. And now and then people give us money also. And then after some time people start asking, Prabhuji, do you have some class in internet? I want to follow you. I want to follow you. So there is a whole set of problem which comes simply by practicing devotional service. What is that? Dhanam, Janam. Sometimes this also happens. Some Matajis get very attracted and then they start running behind. Sundarim, Kavitam, we get some knowledge, we can quote few shloka, we can speak little bit of Sanskrit, and then we start thinking ourselves, oh, I am learned. Oh, I am learned. So these are things which comes by practicing devotional service. These are things which comes by practicing devotional service. So therefore, now they have to be given up. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahaituki tvai. So the idea of liberation, everything has to be given up. At that stage, we can start missing Krishna. This is the second level of crying. This is the second level of crying. We actually understand that what is our unfortunate position. Previous understanding of unfortunate position is the lack of attachment to holy name which is easily available. Now we understand that our unfortunate position is, first of all, I am not supposed to be here. First of all, I am not supposed to be here. I am simply stuck here. I am not supposed to be here. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddho kripaya tavapada pankachet sitaduli sadrisham vichintaya. What am I doing here? What is this body? Why did I get this body? Simply out of madness only we got this body. Simply out of madness we got this body. Rishabhadev is confirming, Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yat indriya pritaye apranoti na sadhu manye yata atmano ayam asannatapi klesa asadehaha. Very beautifully explains. Pramatta means prakrishta rupena mattaha, complete madman. But he puts one word before that. What is that? Nunam pramattaha. Nunam pramattaha means there is absolutely no iota of doubt that this fellow is 100% mad. Nunam pramattaha. Why he is 100% mad? Why there is no doubt? Because he is simply engaged in sense gratification. Kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaye apranoti. What is wrong in sense gratification? Senses are there. They are so nice. When they get gratified, they become happy. So what is the problem? The problem is that this is not very good. Why it is not very good? Yata atmano ayam. I am supposed to be a spirit soul. I am supposed to be a spirit soul. I am a spirit soul. I should not have got this body. I should not have accepted this body. This is the problem. This is the problem. We think that the problem is something else. Normally when we get a problem, We are always thinking, where is the problem? Outside, outside, outside. This fellow is problem, that fellow is problem, this man is problem, that woman is problem, this situation is problem, time is problem, the 9 planetary systems are problem, Rahu is problem, Ketu is problem, Shani is problem. We have so many reasons to assign problem. But the real problem is that I am a spirit soul, I should not have accepted a material body. Yata Atmano Ayam. Very important. Very important. When we understand this, we'll stop blaming others. We stop blaming others. If there is no body, then there is no problem. Na rahega bas, na bajegi basuri. Because I have body, then I have so much problem. So, therefore, one understands that I am a spirit soul. I am a spirit soul. I am servant of Krishna. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. I am servant of Krishna. What am I doing here? Serving this body. Thankless master. Thankless master. Bifale sevino kripana durajana chapala sukha laba lagire. Bifale sevino. Bifale sevino means what? This service has no use. Bifale sevino. And what kind of people you are serving? Kripana durajana. You are serving people who are so miserly, never satisfied. Never satisfied. And very bad people. Why? Chapala sukalaba lagire. And who is this person who is very miserly, who is so bad, who is never satisfied? We are thinking that person is my boss. That person is my boss. Or we are thinking that person is my wife. Or we may think this person is the person who is trying to extract some service from me. But that person is our mind. That person is our mind. Bhajahure mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare. This mind is the worst master. Is the worst master. When the mind becomes master, there can be no worser master than mind, because mind is never satisfied. Mind is always crooked, never satisfied. Unless mind becomes servant of Krishna, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor, unless that mind is submitted at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. That's why every day we are singing that Gurumukha Padmavakya Chitete Koriyakya Arana Korihomane Asa. Unless the mind is submitted to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and locked with the instruction of the spiritual master, the mind can become a very, very dangerous master. It can become very, very dangerous master. So then we understand, what am I trying to do here? What am I trying to do here? I am not supposed to be here. I am supposed to be with Krishna. I am supposed to be with Krishna. I am supposed to be his servant. And I am sitting in this place. Everything I have to struggle. Everything I have to struggle. But what is my place? My place is such a nice place. I don't have to struggle for anything. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpavriksha laksha vrateshu surabhi rabipalayantam lakshmi sakasra satasam brahmasevyamanam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. My father's place, my own place. My father's place, my place. This is the place. In this material world, to get little paneer sabji is so difficult. So difficult. Yes or no? In order to get little paneer sabji, you have to get a job, you have to get married, you have to get a wife who knows how to make paneer sabji. If she doesn't know how to make paneer sabji, that's also a problem. And then you have to get enough money, and then make her very happy, and then she will give you little paneer sabji. Then somebody may say, no, I won't get married, I will become brahmachari in ISKCON, I will get paneer sabji. But if you want to become brahmachari in ISKCON, that's also very difficult. Go through new bhakta training, go through this, go through that, live in brahmachari ashram, go through so much austerity, and then you will get little paneer sabji. So getting paneer sabji is a big problem in the material world. But in the spiritual world, if you want paneer sabji, what you have to do? You have to go and ask Kalpavriksha, tree, give me paneer sabji. What you have to do? You have to ask Kalpavriksha, tree, give me paneer sabji. Then immediately paneer sabji will be there. Such a nice life. But you cannot eat the paneer sabji. You have to go to give it for Krishna. You have to give it for Krishna. It is for Krishna's pleasure. So that is why we understand that when we want everything for Krishna's pleasure, it becomes very easy. When we want everything for our pleasure, it becomes so difficult. So why we have made our own life miserable? Why we have made our own life miserable? We are given money and purchased trouble. We are given money and purchased trouble. This is our life. We don't understand. We thought I'm very happy. No, we are not very happy. So that realization makes us cry for Krishna. This is the next level of crying. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavambudau kripaya tavapada pankaja stitaduli sadrisham vichintaya. And when we start crying for Krishna, then the heart starts melting. The heart starts melting. Otherwise, the heart is very, very hard. It's extremely hard. Extremely hard. The heart is initially hard because of the desire for sense gratification. So, in the material world, people don't see people as people. They simply see people as sense gratification. So, when a man sees a woman, he thinks sense gratification is coming. When she is going, he thinks sense gratification is going. When a woman sees man, she is also thinking same thing. Sense gratification is coming, sense gratification is going. Or when the husband and wife had fight with each other, then they are thinking, oh, trouble is coming, trouble is going. So simply we see people as either source of sense gratification or source of trouble. Our heart is so hard. Our heart is so hard. So hard. So hard. That heart has to melt. It has to melt. How it will melt? It will only melt when we actually surrender that heart to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. And try to understand our unfortunate position. And sometimes we come into Krishna consciousness and we practice Krishna consciousness. We do all those things. We do everything nicely. But then we get carried away within Krishna consciousness also. We get carried away within Krishna consciousness also. That's what it was discussed. Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, Kavitam. We get carried away by so many things. Puja, Labha, Pratishtha of Krishna consciousness. And then we forget that we are supposed to do Sankirtana Yajna. We are studying in Bhakti Vaibhav, very important topic. What is that? We are studying Daksha Yajna. So instead of doing Sankirtana Yajna, we start doing Daksha Yajna. And the result is the hardness of the heart, it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. It's not that simply by chanting the holy name, automatically heart will become soft. We have to make some effort. We should be very careful. We should not become victim. Become victim of Daksha Yajna. We should always remember we are meant to do Sankirtana Yajna. We are meant to do Sankirtana Yajna. We are not meant to do Daksha Yajna. Our devotional service should not become a display of our false ego. Our services should not become simply clash of false egos. If it becomes like that, then lot of time will be lost in unproductive activities. And the end will be destruction. And everybody will suffer. Like in Daksha Yajna, everybody was suffering. So it's very important to understand that we should focus on Sankirtana Yajna. That's why Daksha Yajna is there in Bhagavatam. It's very easy to get carried away. If we got carried away, then the heart will not melt again. So for the heart to melt, we should understand our unfortunate position. And we should try to see how to rectify this position. Then when we cry that Krishna, please lift me from this unfortunate position, then we can reach a stage where crying becomes our second nature. Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulakair nichitam vapukada tavanama grahane bhavishyati yugayutam nimishena chakshusha pravrushayitam Shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. So the third level of crying is that crying why we are unable to cry for Krishna. That's the third level of crying. Second level of crying is that understanding I am very unfortunate and crying. Why I am not with Krishna, why I am sitting here. That is crying. Third level of crying is why I am not crying while chanting the holy name. That's the third level of crying. That when will I chant the holy name? By crying. And the fourth level of crying is actually crying for Krishna. So therefore crying for Krishna is not so easy. It's not so easy. That is found in the heart of Mahajans. The tears for Krishna is the greatest treasure which we can find in the heart of the Mahajans. So, Bali Maharaj is crying. It's a good lesson for us. We can actually very seriously think, Bali Maharaj is crying for Krishna, what I am crying for? Bali Maharaj is crying for Krishna, what I am crying for? You very seriously think. And if I am crying for the right reason, it's very good. I should continue to cry for the right reason. And I should make my crying intense, more and more intense. But if I am crying for the wrong reason, then I should become very careful. I should become very careful. So, I want to read one small passage from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 9. It's a very famous passage. I am sure everybody knows this. But it is always good to read it again and again. Prabhupada says, in other words, one should learn to cry for the Lord. One should learn this small technique. Prabhupada says this is a small technique. One should learn this small technique. And he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in particular type of service. A very, very important point Prabhupada is saying, that whenever we engage in some service in this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we should always remember that this service is a privilege which is granted to us. We should always remember this. We should always remember this. It may be small service from outside point of view, or it may be big service from outside point of view. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We should clearly remember that this service is a privilege which is granted to us. This is not a favor we are doing to this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. ISKCON doesn't require any favor from us. Mahaprabhu doesn't require any favor from us. Krishna doesn't require any favor from us. Prabhupada wanted this whole movement to spread all over the world. Whether I am there or I am not there, it will happen. Mahaprabhu said, Prithvitache Joto Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachara Hoibe Moranam. Whether I am there or not there, it will happen. But we are there and we are allowed to do some service. This is a privilege. This is a privilege. So therefore, we should try to cry for that service. Prabhupada says very important. Prabhupada says this point, that actually to cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. This is called laulya. And such tears are the price for highest perfection. If one develops this laulya or excessive eagerness for meeting and serving the Lord in a particular way, that is the price to enter into the kingdom of God. Otherwise, there is no material calculation for the value of the ticket by which one can enter into the kingdom of God. The only price for such entrance is this laulya lalasamayi, or desire or great eagerness. Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, I'll stop here. I'll see if there are some questions, comments, corrections, brickbats.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned this Daksha Yajna, where we should not serve for in the express of our false ego. Can you please elaborate, Prabhuji, how some examples for this, Prabhuji? Can you elaborate it a little bit, Prabhuji?
Sometimes what happens is that when we do some service, then we get some position, right? So when we get some position, inadvertently we get attached to the position. Okay. So when we get attached to the position, then position takes prominence and service takes a backseat. Right? So whenever we try to approach authority in Krishna consciousness from the position of power, the principle of authority in Krishna consciousness from the position of power, rather than from the perspective of service and responsibility, then we will get into problem. We'll get into problem. That is where it becomes Daksha Yajna. Daksha is a devotee, but he approached his position from a position of power rather than from the position of service and responsibility. He did not think, I am a Prajapati, my service is to actually make everyone happy. Rather, he is thinking, I am Prajapati, everybody should stand up if I enter. Okay. Prajapati means what? He is the protector of all the Praja. So he should make sure that if somebody is not standing up, you should go and ask, hey, you have any problem, why are you not standing up? Can I help you somehow? You seem to be disturbed. Can I do something for you? Rather than that, he is trying to say, oh, this fellow has monkey eyes, this, so many things, and he want to curse also. So when we somehow get attached to this puja, labha, pratishta, the respect, profit, adoration and distinction, when we get attached to this, then it becomes more like a clash of false ego rather than performance of devotional service. Then so many problems happen. There's some interpersonal problem. So many things happen. So that's what we should be very careful about. We should always try to treat every service which is given to us as a privilege, and we should always try to approach every position which is given to us from the perspective of service and responsibility, rather than from the perspective of power and authority. In the material world, every position radiates power and authority. In the spiritual world, every position simply radiates service and responsibility. If we get mixed up, then it becomes a problem. Get mixed up, it has become a problem. So we should be very careful because we are conditioned to think in a certain way. For time immemorial, we are simply conditioned to think in a certain way. So we are always thinking in that way. What is that way? That way is I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intelligence, I am this false ego. This is how we are thinking. So therefore the demands of the mind sometimes tend to take precedence while we are performing devotional service. When the demands of the mind takes precedence, then false ego starts acting. So that is why we should always keep the spiritual master's instruction as the center. And we should also try to follow the spiritual master's instruction. If we do that, then we can save ourselves from the demands of the mind. Because mind is constantly putting one demand or other. That's the nature of mind. It's constantly putting one demand or other. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, Uddharet atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanaha. One should be very careful with the mind. One should deliver himself with the help of his mind, not degrade himself. If one is able to deliver himself with the help of the mind, mind is one's best friend. If one is degrading with the help of the mind, he is the worst enemy. So, that's the whole problem. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you shared this 4 stages of crying from Shashtashtakam you wrote. So, how to proceed, like from where to start and how sequentially one can go?
The first point is you should understand the glories of the holy name. Okay? Like anything, like a person aspires to get something in this material world. How he aspires to get it? Because he understands the glories of that. Like for example, iPhone has aspirational value, okay, as a brand. Why? People understand the glories of iPhone. Oh, iPhone is like this, iPhone is like that, iPhone is this, iPhone is that. So when you hear the glories of something, then you start wanting it. So that is why the first point is to understand the glories of the holy name. That is something which can, this holy name is something which can deliver us what we are actually looking for. What we are looking for? We are looking for happiness. We are looking for unending happiness. We are looking for ever increasing happiness. We are looking for happiness which is full of variety. We are looking for happiness which has these three qualities. What is that? Unending, ever increasing, and full of variety. This is what we are looking for. Everybody in this world is looking for this only. But we are not getting it. We are not getting it. Mahaprabhu is in the first shloka of Sikshashtakam is saying that you can get it simply by chanting the holy name. Simply by chanting the holy name. Not only it will remove your misery, but it will deliver you happiness of these three qualities. What is that? Unending, ever increasing, and full of variety. It can deliver you that happiness. So now you got the system by which you can get the happiness what you want. Okay? So that is the first step. That is the first step. That we should know the glories of chanting the holy name. That's where we start. And once we know that, then we can start thinking, oh, if holy name is so glorious, if it can give me what I want, then why am I not chanting it? Why am I not chanting it? Then I understand, because of my own misfortune, I am not chanting. Then you cry. Then you get into the association of devotees, you see who is chanting nicely, try to associate with them, try to understand how to chant, do all that, right? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice relation with Sikshashtakam. And so I just had a thought that whether this crying is also there in the spiritual world, because they're already with Krishna. So do the inhabitants of the spiritual world?
So in spiritual world, there is Vrindavan and there is Swetadip. Swetadip is place of Mahaprabhu. There everybody is constantly crying. In Vrindavan, people are intermittently crying. Why they are intermittently crying? Because sometimes Krishna is there with them, sometimes Krishna is not there with them. Right? So whenever Krishna is not there with them, they are crying. When Krishna is there with them, also they are crying. Why? They are thinking Krishna is there now, but he will go away later. So they are crying. Okay? So, but where Mahaprabhu is there, the business is crying only. The business is crying only. Because there is more pleasure in crying for Krishna than having Krishna. There is more pleasure in crying for Krishna than having Krishna. This is what Mahaprabhu is saying. So he is saying, better you cry for Krishna. Every day morning we are reading Sada Goswami Astakam. What the Goswamis are doing? They are also crying. He Radhe Vraja Devike Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kuta, Sri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale, Kalindi Vanye Kuta, Goshanto It Sarvato, Vrajapure, Kedair Mahavihvalo, Vande Rupa Sanatano Raguigo, Sri Jiva Gopal. They are in Vrindavan, they are also crying. They are also crying. They are seeing that Vrindavan, not the Vrindavan which we see. They are seeing that Vrindavan. Kunchat Kokil Hamsa Sarasa Gana, Kirne Mayura Kule, Nana Ratna Nibadda Mula Vitapa, Sri Yukta Vrindavane. They are seeing that Vrindavan which Radharani is there. Sri Yukta Vrindavane. They are seeing that Vrindavan. Not the Vrindavan which we see. When we go to Vrindavan, we see where I can get chaat puri, where I can get lassi. We see that Vrindavan. They are seeing that Vrindavan. Still they are crying. So that means in Vrindavan also people are crying. Crying is good, it's not bad. So, like I was explaining in the Bhakti Yoga class, in this material world, happiness gives pain. Pain gives pain. In the spiritual world, happiness gives happiness. Pain gives more happiness. This is spiritual world. This is spiritual world. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji mentioned about that, how we have to see that the opportunity, as Prabhupada mentioned, so service is given to us is a privilege for us. But Prabhuji, generally, when I see I do some responsibility or take some responsibility, do some service, then the desire comes that I have done so much, now what is there for me? So that privilege part doesn't come in front, but now what I will get back, that is
No,
always
the answer
there.
is you have done so much. That is what is there for you. That we try to understand. That's what we should try to understand. The problem is that we are looking for something which is already there with us. Okay? That we did so much is what we got. Somebody else is not getting that. Somebody else is not getting that. Huh? So that is why Krishna tells gopis that your love is what you have. So you should be satisfied with that. There is nothing more you are going to get, because there is nothing more than loving service to Krishna. Ye tamam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamyaham is applicable when you want something other than love for Krishna. Okay, then Krishna will give you, okay, you take position, you take this, you take that, you become big man, you become small man, whatever you want, Krishna will give you. But the moment we start asking to Krishna, Krishna, I want to love you, then there is nothing more to give. Okay? So, how to love a person? The only way to love a person is to serve him. Without serving him, you cannot love him. You cannot sit in one corner and then start thinking Aham Brahmasmi and then you can love that person. It's not possible. Okay? So, if you want to love somebody, you have to serve him. So, if you want to love Krishna, the only way to do it is to serve him. So, Krishna has already given you the means of love. So, what more you want? There's nothing more he can give you. Right? So, that means of love which you got is what you got. That's your privilege. That is what is in there for you. That's it. Finished. You should be satisfied with it. Right?
Tendency is there. So this how it's happened, because of lack of consciousness we are
But
doing.
that tendency is there because we are thinking we are this body. That tendency is there because we are thinking we are this body. That is why the tendency is there. We still want satisfaction of mind. We still want satisfaction of false ego. That is why that tendency is there. We are still thinking that I am this body. Then somebody should actually recognize my service. Somebody should recognize my service. Somebody should tell me, oh Prabhu, you are so great. You are doing so much service. We want someone to come and tell us. Why? Because we don't understand that Krishna is a person and he has already seen that service and he is happy with that service. We don't understand that. We think Krishna is a system. Okay.
How we can give up this tendency?
So the only way to give up this tendency is that when you do some service, then you should tell Krishna, Krishna, I have done this service for you. This is for your satisfaction. Please take it and be satisfied with it. You should actually tell Krishna. Because he is a person, no? So every day morning we should tell the deity. So, oh Krishna, RadhaRasbihariTemple, yesterday I did so much service for you. This is my offering to you. Please be satisfied with this service. If we formally look at the deity, okay, I have to come to Mangala arati, I have to come to Darshan arati, I have to look at the deity. Anyway, deity looks very nice, dress is also nice, everything is nice. If you formally look at the deity, then deity will remain deity only. But if you offer something to Krishna, thinking that he is person, he is standing there, so whatever I have done, let me offer. In Vishnu Sahasranam, there is mantra, Kaya Navata Manasindriyadva Buddhyatmana Unishita Swabhavat Karomi Yat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayati Samarpayami. That whatever I have done by body, mind and words, this is for you. Please take it, be happy with this. This is my offering. If there is some defect is there, please rectify it. But this is my humble offering to you. Please take it. So when we develop that mood of submitting everything to deity, of submitting everything to Krishna, Prabhupada actually made that system. Like every day morning, you are submitting book distribution report to the deity. Right? So Prabhupada taught us that we should submit things to the deity. So when we interact with the deity like that, then it becomes more personal. Then deity is also interacting with us. Then they also say something to us. Then it becomes easy to understand that we are actually dealing with a person. We are not dealing with a system.
Hare Krishna. When we are talking about crying, I remember that I was reading Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. When Prabhupada went there and he was staying there, so the neighbor is writing that 2 o'clock in the morning, every day he was hearing somebody is sweeping and crying. And it was increasing, every day it was increasing. He was thinking, who is that at 2 o'clock, just in front of Rupa Goswami's samadhi, somebody is brooming and then crying like anything. So one day he went up the terrace of the building just to look, who is this person who is crying? It is none other than A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He was sweeping and he was crying in front of Rupa Goswami. So the whole success of Prabhupada, as is mentioned, it is crying. May the mercy.
Thank you, Prabhuji. With these auspicious words, we'll close today. Time is up. Pranitara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. You can ask or come to me. Thank you very much.